Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Greetings and welcome back to my Let's Play of Mega Man Maker. This is the 5th ever live session I've had on this LP series, and it's a continuation of the live stream I did earlier. I'll first cover all the levels I wasn't able to get to during that stream, and then move on to the new levels that were submitted on this stream. Here are the orders of the levels to be covered. So hello there, Lipatio, Squiggs, Tylerbot, Shaun Williams, Diamond Wolf, and Squiggs. First up is Elec Man by Mega Man I MM8 Ed, with 9 plays and a score of 2. These are going to be rather short levels, so I'll cover 2 by the same author. After these 2 levels by the same author are done, you're up next, Squiggs. Yeah, I think I played your level during the last live stream. I'll have to unprivate it, don't worry. It's currently unlisted, but I will public it once they add the timestamps for it. I think I forgot to do that, sorry. We have all the weapons from Mega Man 1, and then we have the flame sword from Mega Man 8 for some reason. And hello there, GHY. Just to formally announce it. Your message got blocked, GHY. I'll fix it. Give me a moment. Alright, it's unblocked. Yeah, Sonic Studio. I'm aware of it. I'm really looking forward to it coming out. I will do a Let's Play series of it, or at least a Let's Try. Depending on how many level designers send their levels to me, I'm really worried about the more challenging Sonic levels than Kaizo stages. And that's done. Yeah, I've heard of NES Maker. Seems interesting, but it's going to be limited to the NES's own hardware limits, unless you use a emulator to supersede some of its limits. Bomb Man by the same author, 30 plays and a score of 9. Hi, Shaun Williams and Pasuda. Plus, because of how limited the NES is in terms of hardware, I wonder how useful NES Maker is going to be, especially with some of the performance limitations. That's what I'm worried about. I could foresee a SNES Maker working a lot better, but we'll have to see. It all has to do with the limitations of the system itself. If it was PS1, I wouldn't be too worried as much, or SNES. But the NES and other 8-bit systems, I'm a lot more worried. Yeah, that would be a dream. Oh sure, it won't be as optimized, but hey, it's a good starting point. The main concern is that I feel that you need a lot more optimization to make NES games. There's less leeway for a game maker and all the assumptions it has to make. Yeah, SNES Maker. What's the name of your level, GHY? Can you list it? Yeah, it did look a bit strange here. It did work better in the previous level. Oh, test teleporter, okay. I'll add it to my list. Let me just finish this level. I was born and raised here in the US. Alright, your level's been added to the list, GHY. I'm not sure if I'll be able to cover it now, but if I can't, I'll cover it during the next live stream. There are already at least 12 levels on the queue. On this stream's queue, by the way. I'll be covering all the levels that are currently I haven't been able to cover since the last stream, then the ones added in chat, and if I have more time, I'll start covering levels from my 2 playlist. And if I can't cover any levels that... if I miss some levels on the stream, I'll add the remaining ones to my 2 playlist anyways. But please, only submit 1 level per level designer. I want to give everyone a time to shine. Kind of hard to hit that enemy from afar. For a Bombman remix or Redux stage, this felt strange. Yeah, now it looks fine because there's a background. Before, it was being casted on the sky, which is very strange. Because the sky is in the distance, with drop shadows it makes sense if there's something actually to drop the shadows behind. And that's this stage. And yeah, congrats on first place, GHY. I posted it up already, so let me type it in again. Next on the list is Squiggs. With their stage, I Am Leviathan, Devourer of Worlds, with 104 plays and an impressive score of 37. If the levels are shorter, it won't take as long to get to them. So far they aren't too long. Oh, a stage where we have infinite usage of this. I get the pun now. I get the reference in the title now. This is gonna be fun. Only can have one on screen at a time, though. I can even use this as a makeshift shield. Boss time. You can even suck in the explosions. I didn't expect that to happen. Easy. But once it fires the first time and it doesn't kill the enemy, they'll be immune to it. That's what I'd be careful about with the more durable enemies. But if I can weaken them first, they'll fall in. It's fine over here because we have a pretty powerful special weapons, so enemy stacking's better. I don't mind enemy spam and enemy stacking as much as long as you have special weapons that can easily deal with them. Or if you're forced to use special weapons. Yeah, I'm fine with it then. It's all a matter of balance. After all, this is not a traditional or fortress stage, so things can be a bit looser. Yep, and this is how we loop back. In a way, this feels like also a nice tutorial stage to how to use the black hole bomb, both its pros against weak enemies and its cons against stronger enemies. And of course, Stone Man's immune against the black hole bomb here to force it to use the Thunder Claw. But even if it responded to the last hit, isn't as bad if you run out. Hello, APM. I remember being here last time. Weapon farm. Any enemy that can rapidly spawn like that will be a nice weapons farmer. Oh, okay, yeah, that explains it. Thanks for the clarification, Tylerbot. Timer on the top left? You mean on the top right. That's the level timer. It shows how long I've been spending throughout the level. Oh, and now I'm back over here. Remember that gap I couldn't cross before? Well, now I can cross it. Nice way of looping back in the stage to show progression. I like it when stages do this. Yeah, it's in the options under Other. In a future update, I wish they added a death counter too. The level timer isn't completely accurate though, it has some strange inaccuracies according to some people. Plus it still counts down when you're under the ready screen. Pretty solid level overall. Here I gotta be careful because I don't have his weakness. And the RNG has to be on the nicer side to actually drop life pickups. The level editor, yeah, I like the level editor. Even with all the wars that this game has, I still enjoy playing it, for the most part. I complain because I care. and I want to see the game get better and better. I feel that because the game released with a lack of content, it harmed its player base. To be fair, Sonic Studio is going to be remaking a 16-bit game with a lot more advanced physics, I'd say. For one, it comes with splines and actual slopes. If slopes could be added to this engine, that would be another major improvement. And now the RNG decides to be more in my favor, for once. See, if the RNG is more in your favor, this boss fight isn't too bad. But if it's not, and Chargeman decides to charge a lot more, it becomes more of a problem. Yeah, it is really good. Feels a lot similar to use compared to Game Maker. Seems a black hole bomb could do a lot of things. It's a cool level, currently my favorite level of the stream. Alright, adding that to my list, Shindiro. I probably won't be able to get to it though, there are a lot of levels ahead of you. So let me update the order. Yeah, props to you, Squiggs. Next up is Japanese Skyman by Croby with 22 plays and a score of 3. And hello there, Vic. Nice to see you. I'll go see your message. Hold on. I checked the playlist. Already want to see this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I rearranged the order, but you want me to rearrange it. Alright. So for this stream, do you want me to cover the Firewalker Stream Edition or just cover the Riddler series? Currently I have the Okay, I'll cover Firewalker Stream Edition here. Indeed, I have significantly more gradients. To be fair, out of all the classic games before Mega Man 11, Mega Man 8 had the most detailed sprite backgrounds. They stand out instantly, but I like them. Could be a bit distracting if you don't have the correct combinations though. And without the correct amount of blurring. Yeah, Firewalker Stream Edition will be up when we get to yours play, Shaun. Well, I already know the tree-based characters of Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails will be there. And it'll focus on the 16-bit titles, so Sonic 1 through 3 and K, and probably Sonic CD as an extra. So, the basic sets of enemies, environments, and whatnot. Although Sonic focuses much more on the level environments than enemies compared to Mega Man, where the level gimmicks and enemies are much more important. Well, level gimmicks are important to the Sonic titles, but not so much the enemies. But because Mega Man plays at a much slower pace and focuses much more on platforming and actually has a much more increased variety of combat tactics, it's much more important to have a variety of enemies there. Enemies which would be really painful to deal with in Sonic, for example the Slicers, the Shell Punchers or Shell Crackers. Well, most of the annoying enemies from Metropolis Zone, they wouldn't be as annoying in a Mega Man game. They'd be perfectly fine. Well, mostly fine, as long as they aren't too close to you. But it's not to cause a problem. Yeah, Mighty and Ray, probably in a future update. Similar to how we had Proto Man and Bass added in a future update to this game. Eventually I want them to backport other stuff from other games. Perhaps the ones from Sonic Pocket Adventure or Sonic Advance. And eventually Sonic 4 and Sonic Mania, of course. It depends on which type of game it is though. I mean, it depends on which type of level it is. If it's a Kaizo level, it'll be a different problem. For Kaizo levels, well, it depends on how difficult it is. Sometimes I just skip grading those Kaizo levels because they're just too difficult and I can't properly grade them. I'd like to hand them off to people who are more skilled in that regard. That's why I don't usually upvote or downvote those types of levels, unless they're focusing on a different type of humor. It's just to be more fair. Oops. That's what I'm a bit worried about because of how much momentum matters in Sonic. In Mega Man, you don't really have any momentum unless you have ice physics or fans or something's pushing you. In Sonic and Mario, momentum is much more important, especially Sonic. You can't just instantly de-accelerate and accelerate. In Mega Man, by default, you have infinite acceleration. You can go from running to a standstill to running at max speed in an instant. So we'll have to see how balanced it is or not. What did you not think about, Squiggs? See, the momentum is going to be the main difference between Mega Man and Sonic and Mario. It'll be more of importance with Sonic. That's why I'm more worried about Kaizo levels and challenge levels there, or challenging levels in general. I feel that the skill floor required for completing those stages are going to be higher than many of the Kaizo levels in Mega Man. Don't get me started at troll levels. I'll worry about them later. If only I could take the right pathway, I would like to see that part of the level. Oh well. You can't win them all. See, I'm not too worried about the troll levels because of course they're trying to troll you. I'm just worried about the more challenging levels and how will they rate them. Because I want to give them a fair shake, but it's more difficult to give them a fair shake if you can't properly play them, or if you're not skilled enough to properly play them. That's why I tend to avoid giving reviews to harder games. Yeah, Zelda Maker. That's out already, and in terms of Mario Maker fan games, you already have Mario Maker X, not Mario Maker X, Mario X, or whatever the name of that is, Mario Unimaker, and Super Mario Multiverse, which are eventually coming out. SMBX, Super Mario Bros. X, thank you. That has one of the most increased amount of flexibility because, of course, you can code objects. In Lua, if I recall correctly. So, of course, because you can code new objects, it increases the flexibility dramatically. Yeah, it's coming eventually. Try it. I would like to compare it with the Magmal 2 and Magmal 3 engines. Or the Megamix engine, because you can code new objects in at a whim. Try some of the level packs there. I also like it because it's one of the few fan games that prominently feature multiplayer as a valid option. Even some of the level packs are designed for multiplayer. There are barely any Mega Man fan games that feature multiplayer, outside of Mega Man Co-op and Versus, Mega Man 8-Bit Deathmatch, Mega Man 2.5D, and Magmal 2 and Magmal 3. Yep, it may have it. Oh, that was awesome. No, I'm terrible at sprites. Considering Croby's past levels, this is on the much higher quality side, I'd say. Again, relative to Croby's previous levels. This is an okay level, I'd say, maybe okay at best, but compared to Croby's usual flair, it's a major improvement. Sort of. Oh no, spikes. And it's done. I'd say it's okay. Yeah, he's improving, slowly. Next up is Propeller Valley by AgentAPM with 12 plays and a score of 4. I'll update that list every other level, so you don't even see me spam it over and over. Unless I missed an ID, which I'll have to double check after this level. This stage is going to focus on fans of every kind. Fan fiends, yahoos, fans, etc. If I had the power adapter, I would have blown open that block. Can I even reach that? And on that matter, please put a completion rate so we can see how difficult the levels are. Well, it's kind of late to add that now, unfortunately. I'm mixed. I always like using special weapons, as they're some of the more interesting parts of Mega Man. If Mega Man didn't gain access to new special abilities, or special weapons and utilities, it would be a rather boring run-and-gun shooter. Special weapons and the fact of non-linearity in the order of levels you can go through are what make Mega Man interesting to me. I won't go for it anymore. I am not getting the timing down. I don't need it anyway. Probably not. I may lose access to boss's weakness, but hey. Again, there are other NES games, or even games that came out in the future, which have much better run-and-gun mechanics compared to Mega Man at base. But what makes Mega Man stand out are the special weapons and the non-linearity. If those weren't there, the series would have died off much earlier. Plus, the focus on each level having a different gimmick and team. To be fair, I had to make one for Magmal 2. And I worked with someone else in order to make my Magmal 3 Roadmaster, or rather, our Magmal 3 Roadmaster. So yes. I'll add it. Let me just finish the stage. Or die again. I won't be able to cover it tonight, but I'll add it to the list. Oh, this is gonna be a problem. Well, in my mind, yes. I've made some joke Roadmasters. See Picado Man. Or Crusher Man. Which may be eventually made into a full-length level. Or all the Joe hybrids I've taught of already. Full refills, so that means a boss is coming up. Fairman, of course. Oh, I see what he's going for. Getting down there is going to be the problem. I don't have any E-tanks either, so... let's try this again. I have ton of it, but it would take too much time. Plus, I don't feel I would be the best judge. I haven't really ever made a level for Mega Man Maker. I much prefer playing through them. I'm a rather slow level creator, all things considered. See, counteracting the fans is the different problem. I'll just use a jet adapter there. Or I can just do that. Of course, I also have the plant barrier, so I should use that more. See, that works. I should have thought about this earlier. Easy, this was a fun level, currently my second favorite level this episode. Alright, add your other level GHY. Next up is Pennant Man Mega Man Orbital by Mega Man Orbital with 12 plays and a score of 2. And hello there, Galaxy Man. Welcome to the stream. As well as Mabrick, because I forgot to mention your name. I didn't really play any of the levels before in order, so I'll pick up all these special weapons. I know I'm supposed to play all the 8 levels and then the Fortress levels in order, but the other ones aren't really done yet, so might as well. It should be doable Buster only then, as this is supposed to be a Roadmaster stage. As you can see, introducing us to how the fans work, as well as the bomb drones, as they can't hurt you if you're down over here, and it's easy to destroy them from above. Now introducing the fans that are facing upwards, as well as the lone enemy. Same with the Sniper Joes here. Whoa. Oh, that's why. I was wondering what was going on. Almost there. Because I didn't see the fan off screen, I was wondering what was going on here. And now I wait because I can't do anything. Oh well, getting the E-Tank wasn't too difficult. It was a neat challenge, but I enjoyed. E-Tanks should have some sort of challenge to them. And it's not like we have bullets in this engine. Sky High, okay. I'll add it to my queue after this. Also, I didn't realize I actually had access to the rush yet. Here we go, this sort of segment. Well, it isn't too late to submit a level, Queen Monica, but there are already plenty of levels in the queue, so I won't be able to cover it tonight. It'll be covered next week then. Submit it anyway. Then it'll be right ahead of the queue next week. On Saturday's first stream, I'm not going to be taking any requests from chat. I'm going to work on completing the levels that are remaining. Good to know. Prefer the term runaway doggo. I thought this was going to be an elevator segment. See, I'm not exactly sure because when X's wall jumping capabilities, you have infinite use of it. It's not like the jet adapter where there's a limit of how much wall jumping you can do. Yeah, holy water. And that's this stage. Yep. I don't know if that's even the official name. See, I'm a little bit... It depends on the kind of level. If the stage has a lot of walls, I'll definitely go with wall kicks. But if there's more maneuvering required, I'd go with the jet adapter. It's kind of a hard choice and it really depends on the level. Alright, added to your level, Diamond Wolf. Alright, I'm gonna take a brief pause and I'll be right back. I need some water. And I'm back. Next up on the lineup is Team Mabrick's level, which is Crimson Coast. 17 plays and a score of 7. Yeah, I know you play some Super Mario World hacks, Squiggs. I will eventually cover Mega Man hacks on my own time as well. But I really want to cut down on the levels on the queue. As I said, it's over 100, and by the end of the stream, it'll probably still be over 100. I can see why it's called Crimson Coast already. Yeah, I will do eventually Mega Man hacks. I won't cover exactly Mario Realm hacks because that field is already oversaturated last time I checked. And plus most of my audience won't probably be as interested in that. Preferably both APM. But preferably you want something that makes thematic sense and is easier to hit the boss with. Or maybe not easier to hit the boss with, but really counteracts the boss's pattern. Those are usually the best weaknesses. Afterwards, well, here's how I like to do it. Make the primary weakness make sense against the boss thematically, and make the secondary weakness make sense in terms of counteracting the boss's patterns. That I find to be a nice trade-off. Not to mention you can play around with what the weaknesses do. They can deal more damage to the bosses, but that doesn't mean you can play around with the boss AIs in case you're coding a fan game. See, for example, in Mega Man X4, if you hit double with his weakness, it actually makes the boss fight harder. Oh yeah, in Mega Man 11, the boss... Whoa. Okay, I pressed jump there. As I was saying, in Mega Man 11, the weaknesses not only are thematically make sense for the most part, they actually counteract the boss patterns. It's not your fault, Mabrick. Yeah, I heard of Mega Man X++. The way he made his stage monochrome, Shaun Williams, is that he only used monochrome tiles and enemies, plus only gave me access to the concrete shot. So yeah, APM combination of the two, then followed by thematic sense, then followed by counteracts boss weaknesses. Mega Man 11 did a phenomenal job at that front. Even more so when you start actually using the power gear. The funny thing about the power gear is that, well, in terms of speedrunning, it's best to use the power gear. Using the speed gear actually slows down the stage. Or slows down how long it takes for you to get through the stage. That's why it's not the best for speedrunning. Not to mention all the crazy combos you can do with the power adapter chaining together with the second charge shot. And how the second charge shot actually pierces through enemy invulnerability frames. Again, I don't understand why the engine does that. I was explicitly 2 pixels up. That's it, I'm not gonna try it again after this. Engine idiosyncrasies. Yeah, I won't this time. I always do it as insurance because I do not trust the drop platforms here. Not at all. Yeah, that's one example. Even counteracts is more when I use the power adapter form. One of the hardest weaknesses I'd say to utilize would be the thunderstorm if you don't use the power adapter version. You mean basically more special weapons with gear variants? I like to see them in general. Oh yeah, bosses with the gear variants, that'd be fun. Half the Roadmaster, well, there are 4 Roadmasters dedicated to the use of each gear in Mega Man 11, and the Fortress bosses, including the final boss, use both gears. Toadman's Lair. I will note it down. I don't know sliding this level, so it makes me even more wary in these sections. What's my stream delay for you, Squiggs? Post something in chat and I'll respond to it immediately. Okay. Certainly it makes it more challenging and in some ways fun. Literally instant, that's because I set the latency in YouTube to under 1... I set it to ultra low. So lower quality but much faster reactions. Which for these kinds of heavily reaction-based games I feel is pretty necessary, or makes the experience more fun. No, I don't want to do a 5-hour live stream. Probably not, as... unless it's limited to certain special weapons, as otherwise it would be a massive undertaking. Imagine having to make power gear variants of every single special weapon in the game so far, all 60 of them. Let's not count the bosses. Let's just say the Mega Man 11 bosses only have access to the gears. Even then, with the power gear in Mega Man, unless you limit it to Mega Man 11 weapons only, well, you see the problem. It's just a ton of work. Oh, that's what was happening. Overall, a bit of a more difficult level, but that was due to all my incompetence. Not the level designer. Fun level. Okay, I'm adding a level Queen Monica. Let's see who's next. I would have covered J9's Gemini Laser levels, but I don't see any on the queue or elsewhere, so I'll have to skip over them. Which means the next person on the list is Shaun Williams. Firewalker level, hard 1.5 streaming version. 9 plays and a score of -1. You did mention there was a secret in this level, Shaun. Can you mention it again? Repost it in chat. It went by too fast for me. Okay, near the beginning of the level when you get the fire room, there's a secret on the left. Please inform me once I reach that point again. Right after the last stage I played on stream, by the way. Just wanted to make sure. There, yeah, it's in the center. See? And remember, this is a Shaun Williams level, so expect to damage boost and die a lot. Yeah, there's no spikes down there, so I'm gonna skip over that E-tank. And I need to damage boost there. Remember, for these stages, you have to understand damage boosting is mandatory for survival. If you don't damage boost, you're gonna die. There's a secret to the left, I see it. Protoman. You know, could you please set it on fire? See, that would make my life a lot easier. I just need to stand on that. No double damage. But then I get trapped in this room, though. Do I get trapped in this room if I go over here? I would like to know that. Yeah, I get trapped. But I've infinite shots too. Okay, I need Mega Man, so I won't swap over to Proto Man. Swap over to Mega Man, Proto Man? Okay, I'll trust you. See, I get what I need to do here. Thank you. Now I just need to get to there. And get clipped into the ceiling because... At least I will get shunted to the left now. No time slow. Well, RNG. There, that's what I needed to do. I'm gonna play it really safe here. Although it's probably not exactly necessary. Next checkpoint. Despite this stage being called Firewalker, it's surprisingly on the fair side. It's a lot fairer compared to Shaun Williams' previous level. A lot less force damage boosting required. And a lot more focus on walking into fire without getting your shield dissipated. Plus, there are frequent pickups everywhere. So it's not like you can lose access to your special weapons. Of course, they randomly decide to appear. And checkpoint placement is pretty good as well. See, for these kinds of levels, normally I'd complain about how you can't complete these stages damageless, but for these stages I think they're supposed to be designed to be damage boosted true, so that complaint goes out of the window. Whoops. And remember, there's little to no chance of running out of weapon energy too. Well, you do. If you do, it's very close that you're gonna die in the first place, so it's fine. It's not like you're gonna get soft locked, and the amount of progress you lose anyway is pretty minor. Of course, it's listed in the wrong order. So just rush forward. That's the strategy here. Oh no. I didn't realize what was going on until it was too late. Can I save myself? Ah, I can, as long as you do a temporary pause there. Nightshade. I'll take a look at it. Early point-and-click adventures. Why was its continuous system incredible? Could you give some more information about that, TylerBot? I'd like to know more about it. Pseudo slide jump. What was the battle system like? Like it was a turn-based, as semi-active, active, was it an action RPG? No dive missile here, even though I didn't realize I actually had it. I'll see your message when I complete this. Wait, can I freeze these? No, I can't. I need the concrete shot. I see you wait over here. Not the best time to put that. Yeah, that was a forced death, but I want that. Too far from the edge. Too late. I was mashing the jump button. That's why I'm always extremely wary of these types of jumps. Something always goes wrong. And it's also a four block slide jump. Really hard to pull this off. Let's see, battle system active, touch an enemy near center battle screen, or fought the opponent boxing style. Was it one-on-one always, or one-on-two, or one-on-X? I'll take a look at it after the stream. I want that E-Tank as well. Probably want those for the final boss encounter too. You need to instantly use the time slot to get it. Secret of Evermore was fun. Not as good as Secret of Mana or Seiken Densetsu Tree, but it was fun. Shame how it keeps getting misblamed of why Secret of Seiken Densetsu Tree that never came here. From what I've heard, it was either Seeking Densetsu Tree was coming here or Chrono Trigger. And I'd still go with Chrono Trigger. Yeah, they could fix some of the systems. They fixed the grinding for weapons, and they made the weapon different weapon levels interesting. Much more interesting than Secret of Mana, where it just felt like pure grinding and whatnot. Of course, not enough buster shots. At least I don't take double damage, otherwise I would have died there, for certain. Yeah. I say in some ways it had a better atmosphere than Secret of Mana. I feel like Secret of Mana had more charm to it, especially its world, but in terms of atmosphere and especially its atmospheric music, Secret Evermore had the advantage. Plus I did like its alchemy system. Magic was a bit abusable like it was in Secret of Mana, but it costed more to spam essentially spells, so I guess that's how it balanced out a bit. I liked all the color and vibrancy of the world, it's just a different feel. I was expecting enemies to spawn in. I know what to do here. First, quick refill. I have to use the flame sword here. Yeah, it was... I wouldn't exactly call it gritty, but it was kind of more... how should I say it? Bleak, and each environment had its own atmosphere. It felt kind of bleak for the prehistoric and the Egyptian worlds, but once you got to Gothica and the futuristic worlds, sure, it got more vibrant. It felt like different time periods and whatnot. It makes sense that the stage took place between different minds. I feel in some ways that game would have been better if it actually took place in more different worlds. As in, it had more environments that we could go to. Yeah, damage boosting. I thought the telly was touching me there. I don't need any tank, I'm going ahead. Good night, Queen Monica. Yeah, maybe not. It felt somewhat rushed. Well, it wasn't too rushed, but it felt like it ended too soon in a way. How should I say it? It felt like it needed at least one or two more worlds to clear things up, especially with the plot, because Secret Evermore, I like its ideas, but its plot felt like it needed more development, and one or two worlds would fix that. Maybe a more like horror-themed world or something more adventurous. Something like that would do the charm for me. because I like the systems. It just needed more polish. That's not the special weapon I actually wanted to use there, by the way. Of course, should have expected that. There we go. We're nearing the end. Remember, if I didn't die as much, this wouldn't take as long. It would have taken probably about 5 minutes. I don't need any tank, I have plenty. 4 plus all those. Plus, I can create fireballs wherever I need it. Remember, there is a non-streaming version of the stage which has a lot less checkpoints, and that takes a lot longer to complete. Free tank. How close are we to the end? It does, but there's a reason why we need all these E-tanks near the end. If this follows the same trend as the previous level, and yeah, this feels like about 2 or 3/4 levels glued together by this point. Even a level by Shaun Williams isn't this long. Once again, tap locking isn't the best in this engine. Well, I can't really rely on it, that's the problem. Oh, of course, because it shifted me out of that. I was wondering for a second what happened there. Now that I think about it, damage boosting through this section is... okay. I think I broke part of your level, Shaun. I still have the time slow now. I didn't deliberately try to do that, by the way. By focusing enough, I just broke through the entire stage in the door. Proto Man has gained the power of ESP. Now the walls mean nothing to him, he can now focus and zip wherever he desires. Yeah, divine intervention. Ah, don't worry. I'm not supposed to have time slow here, but... And this is why it completely breaks the challenge. What do I lose here? Everything. But now I face off against Flame Man. Don't worry, I'm not gonna break it. I'm not gonna try gaining the special weapons again. Even though it'd be pretty funny if I could somehow... Considering how useful it is, you could probably task it all the time. Easy kill, but for a long level, it's well worth it. Compared to the last level I played by Shaun Williams, I felt this was better designed and had more unique gimmicks and interesting stuff, and was better balanced out. There were damage boosting segments, so I won't exactly fault the stage for not being able to be beaten damageless, but the fact we have so many checkpoints, life respawners, and weapon respawners, and the fact it has a more cohesive UI, not UI, but aesthetics, I would say I liked it more than usual. So good work, Shaun. I won't be covering the non-streaming version, as from what I've heard it's about the same, but it just has more checkpoints. It has less checkpoints. So I'll be right back. I need to drink some water after that experience. All that fire made me thirsty. I'm not sure... Well, if this is a Kaizo level, it's definitely on the easier side, much easier. It has much more consideration of the fact that players... Well, you have so many checkpoints plus all the weapon and life pickups, and that means you can damage boost off of most enemies, and most of the enemies don't deal as much damage. So, it really works to make it so that it's easier. Oh sure, if you're not as a skilled Mega Man player, these stages are very hard to go through, but once you get the hang of damage boosting, it becomes one of the easier Kaizo levels to do. By a long shot. Alright, next up is Tile Mix Level Average Difficulty by NightCurseX with 10 plays and a score of 1. Yeah, that's why usually when I cover Shaun Williams levels, I prefer to cover them on pre-recorded episodes, so I can edit out most of the deaths and failures, so you don't have to see me spend 30 minutes or 20 minutes on the stage. Instead, you see a 5 to 10 minute edited version. But if there are streamer versions of all these levels, sure, I'll play them on stream. I won't lose as much progress. I know, that's why I have essentially a soft 20-minute timer on level submissions, unless I'm previously warned about them. If I don't make any progress if I don't make any substantial progress or really any progress for over 5 minutes, I'll just use the level editor to skip ahead. That's why I don't usually play Kaizo levels in these streams, only the easier ones. Of course, not all Kaizo levels are made equal. Some challenge stages are harder than Kaizo stages. Even for lesser skilled players, this is a... See, it doesn't really change the level design for the most part, it just makes it so they lose less progress. It's not like it changes... Well, it does make it a bit easier, but... more in the sense that you lose less progress when dying. It makes it so that each section of rooms feels more like a compact challenge, and in some ways it makes the stage feel more fun. Because if you increase the checkpoint density by a lot, that means you can justifiably increase the difficulty of each of the screens because you lose less progress. And then you can really make more devious challenges. If you can do the same with the other levels, I'd like to cover them on stream. They have interesting ideas. See, I like how we have to either wait for the fire tellies or tackle fires to come down, or we can set those oil fires alight by using the magma bazooka. Another way you can make the stage more interesting is to add reasons why you want to disignite the fires, or unignite the fighters. aka give us the water wave. You don't want to add too many checkpoints to a stage where, in that case, there's no challenge whatsoever. My rule of thumb is that, by default for traditional length Mega Man levels with traditional difficulty, 1 checkpoint per every 7 to 12 screens. If it's more difficult, increase the number of checkpoints. And see, I'm okay with harder difficulty levels. In fact, I'm okay with more Kaizo levels. The main thing that annoys me or irks me is when you lose a bit of progress. Now, I'm okay with losing progress if they're more like optional routes or you lose optional items if you make mistakes, but what I don't like as much is if they're mandatory stuff. That's why, for example, I like Super Meat Boy's design in challenges. The levels are fairly short, and if you die, you don't lose that much progress. You only lose about 30 seconds to 1 minute progress. The only exception is the final level, but it's the final level. Same with The End Is Nigh. How many of the Meat Boy games have you played, chat? Technically, there are 3 of them released. In a way, yes, but it's a different focus. A slightly different focus. Plus, the second and third parts of the game are quite different. They do have a limited set of lives, they don't have an infinite set of lives, but the number of lives you get is pretty crazy, like 1,000 or something. Let's see, I played the original 2 games of Meat Boy, which were the Flash games, and then I played Super Meat Boy. Yeah, it has somewhat similar platforming, I'd say. Compared with the previous level, this is starting to feel a bit bland. Because that level was exciting all the time. If you want to check out the Meat Boy platformers on Flash. Speaking of Flash, have any of you heard or tried out Flashpoint? Have any of you contributed to Flashpoint? GHY, did you contribute to Flashpoint? Either by submitting SWF or curating it? Oh, okay, you just tried it out, that's fine. I really like the project because there's so many Flash games that deserve to be at least remembered and restored. I know Flash has a lot of weaknesses and security flaws, performance issues, but in spite of all those things, there's so many games that really should be preserved. Yeah, Flashpoint's main goal is to preserve the Flash games of yesteryear, especially as Adobe is deprecating the entire Flash platform. Yes, despite all of its shortcomings of the Flash platform, I can't really complain about the same of the game. The games and all the animations and all the electronic toys and whatnot, they deserve to be preserved along with all the NES, SNES titles. I mean, think about it, just a few years ago, we had much better preservation of the NES, 8-bit, 16-bit, and even the early 32-bit era. Much better than Flash, which is strange because they're even earlier than them. Thankfully that's being rectified. So far there have been several thousand games that have been curated and added to Flashpoint. And they've expanded their scope to include stuff like ActiveX, Shockwave, Silverlight, even Unity, and some HTML5 games. They even got the side-locked games working, most of the side-locked games, thanks to an internal server. I suggest all of you check out Flashpoint, at least for a few minutes. Oh wait, the order got messed up a bit. TylerBot's actually ahead of you. Sorry, Lipatio. Actually, TylerBot was the next person. Wilys Robot Training Tower. 4 plays and a score of -1. What ended up happening was there was an extra question mark, and because of copying and pasting from Google's messages, well, it resulted in 2 of the chat messages getting combined together. Your level is coming right after mine. I mean, right after yours, Tyler. Sorry. Lipatio's level, I kind of know in advance what's going to happen with it. I'm going to have to download it, so... It doesn't really deserve to be downvoted. It's not even really difficult in the first place. It's not like Shaun Williams levels where they're super difficult if you don't know what you're doing. It's not like you need to know how to damage boost or do non-conventional Mega Man stuff. And you know me in my short rant which I did in Magmal 2 after I completed the stage nobody asked for, about the differences between quality and player preferences. Hard. Probably because they think it's too hard. I've noticed that on the most popular queue, easy levels or levels that are auto-playing or levels that have an interesting name or aesthetics to them get higher scores. Much higher scores. Despite not having nothing else interesting to them. Well, for auto-playing levels, at least they have something going for them, but for the rest, not really. That's why I haven't really played as many levels on the most popular queue. Not really. I know one of your levels beforehand, the one that took place underwater, was more difficult, but that was due to the max difficulty not being clipped. Most of your levels aren't that difficult, unless you're playing through them as Proto Man, but even then that's optional. Yeah, that has a tendency to happen. It's mainly because of the gimmicks why people like them. Which is quite a shame, as quite a few hard levels are very interesting. Maybe not hard, but harder. Okay, I'll play the Riddler series in the next pre-recorded episode. That'll be after next week because I'm covering mostly levels from the Retro Redux in my pre-recorded episodes right now. But I will get to them eventually. One of the downsides of having so many levels in the queue. There was a slight issue with, I actually made a mistake with my notepad. You were actually after TylerBot. But you'll be right after, don't worry. I'm not ending the stream until your level is done at the very least. $14 tiles, is it just Flash games or all the other games combined together? Yeah, they're all Flash games. Remember, recently we saved Webkin's Golf. One of the downsides of copying from Google Chat is that I can sometimes concatenate messages together. Yeah, at the very least, all those games should have a choice to get preserved. They deserve to be remembered by history, yeah, at least if some people want them. I mean, look at all the... I know there are a lot of bad Flash games out there, subpar ones, but look at all the subpar NES and SNES games that have been cataloged and preserved. So they deserve a chance as well. Flash games matter is what I'm saying. As well as the animations and e-toys. Maybe not unpreservable, but harder to preserve. Okay. Yeah, hard releases. See, early Flash games, they can be preserved because they're mostly self-contained. Even the games that are side-locked can be preserved thanks to some code trickery. This feels easier than Elemental Trials. This feels easy for me because I just played Shaun Williams' level, and I played so many Kazu levels already in more challenging stages. Yeah, it's a matter of finding them all. Not all games can be saved, of course, like the games that require a large server backing, like MMOs and multiplayer games. But most of them aren't like that, so they can at least be saved. Even partially. I said this before and I'll say it again. Even partial savings of games is fine with me. It may not be full recreations, but not all famous portraits were saved completely. Quite a few of the famous, or a notable number of famous paintings have some blemishes or damages to them over the years, but we still saved them. We can do the same with the Flash game titles. It's better than completely losing our history. Yeah, same with the Cartoon Network. Host and replicate. Don't store all of your chickens in one basket. If you're gonna back it up, make sure to replicate and store it in multiple locations. Thankfully, the Internet Archive is helping host Flashpoint. I think I'll eventually do a live stream of Flashpoint itself to increase the awareness of it. And I applaud the efforts of those people searching. They deserve time and effort. I wouldn't cover all the games because there's way too many. I'll just sample some of my favorite ones. I mean, there are several fan games I would love to do LPs on in the future. Some of them include Mega Man fan games, actually. So it'll just be a quick 30-minute overview of it, give some suggestions if you so desire, and most importantly, curate. I actually curated some titles for Flashpoint myself. It doesn't even need to be a full LP of a Flash game if you don't like it too much. Give at least one video per Flash game or something. I'd like to see a channel catalog all the Flash games that are added to Flashpoint, perhaps one video per game no matter how big they are. So some videos will be a few seconds long, some will be probably 30 minutes long. Motherload, do you want to do a full LP of that or just a let's try of sorts? Someone's doing the same, trying to record one video for every game of the NES era or SNES era. And I know the Mexican runner completed all the NES games. I'm waiting for someone to complete all the SNES games on stream. I could see someone at least giving a let's try of every single Flash game added to Flashpoint over time. That'd be a monumental project, but that'd be fun. some people will definitely look at that, watch it I mean. So that's an idea for some future videos, if anyone's interested. Almost? Didn't he already complete all of them? And did it only cover US games, or did he also cover Japanese games and games from other markets? Yeah, I recommend actually taking a look at batches of 10 Flash games at a time at Flashpoint and slowly work your way upwards. That would be interesting for people who are into Flash game preservation, and you'll get at least a few dozen views per video probably. He probably has. I'm waiting for someone to do the same with SNES. And this stage is done. It wasn't really that hard, outside of maybe a few sections, but I liked Element Trials other today. The first level of every game. That may be some issues with RPGs, and that'll take a few years, but I feel that's somewhere in between my let's try idea of every single Flash game and completing the entire game. Because, for example, for RPGs in certain games, the first stage, it doesn't really cover just one town. Let's see, who's next? Lipatio, of course. I'm just gonna say right now, I'm gonna have to download this. And you'll see soon why. Well, I'll try completing it over here, but there's a reason why I'm downloading it now. It does give a goal, but it can be a issue with certain games. But I still raised the idea for a Flash game series like that, just sampled them. Based off of newest. I know some people were doing it for SNES, NES, and other genres, PS1, PS2, but... And like for 5 seconds or 10 seconds of every game trailers, like those. I downloaded it in advance, but I'm playing it on stream. I'm playing it on the servers right now. Truth be told, I actually was going to play this level earlier in a pre-recorded episode, but I essentially rage quit due to a certain reason. Well, not really rage quit, but I was too busy with other things. I downloaded in advance just in case the servers crash. There is one section which I'm a bit worried about. I never really completed Space Travel 1, so here we are to Barreclon. And Lipatio isn't kidding when this stage is saying that this stage is hard. This is much harder than the previous level I covered during the last live stream. It's not a troll level, but you'll see. Assuming the level wasn't changed. This is the reason why I rage quit the stage originally. The level before Survive the Shrub Forest yesterday, Survive the Shrub Forest wasn't that difficult. You see the problem here? I got on my first attempt here because I learned to button mash more rapidly, but doing it on your first attempt, off screen, I died at least 20 times getting that right because you have to button mash quite a bit to do it properly. And let me tell you, it's not easy at all to do that. I have reverse LP's curse now. Now I'm doing better on stream for whatever reason. Here's the next challenge. See, the fans are a bit too far spaced away, and button mashing rapidly like that is problematic. I can do it staying on ground pretty fast, but when jumping, I can't really do that. Yeah, with that level, you had to broke that one. Second try, oh my goodness, I'm doing so much better than before. I wasn't able to make it maybe past this point during my pre-recorded test, but now... Good night, Chris. Good night, TylerBot. Again, with this stage, I think I'm suffering from, or benefiting from, reverse LP's curse. In order to survive this stage, you need to learn how to button mash the fire button. Or just tie it to auto hotkey or something. Yeah, muscle memory and spamming. It's really just button mashing. That's what all you need to know. See ya. There, that's what I was trying to do. Oh no. See, if I press it twice, it'll dissipate. Well, at least I can do this. Yeah, Squiggs isn't leaving yet. Neither am I. I also need to check what level this is in the queue, or what level I covered now. Thank you for the repeated refills, I really appreciate it. Yeah, I have. I've watched some of GameFox streams. Not to mention I watch Gaming Wisdom and oops. Well, I'm playing the online version of the stage, so you must have added it sometime. Mistimed it. I'll double check if I accidentally played the downloaded version somehow. Oh yes, he's one of the best Mega Man Maker players in general. Alright, I know what to do there then. Just wanted to confirm. Him, Buster, Yagami, and Brickman are very skilled kinds of players. some of the best Mega Man Maker players I've seen that actually stream. There may be some other better ones known, well, Captain Pollution as well. He both makes and plays Kaizo stages. Oh, you're in chat, Brick Man. I didn't expect to see you here. No need for that. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Just rush forward. And button mash. This was easier than the last section. Oops. Oh no. Don't tell me this level's broken. I'll give it one more go, and if it is, I'll make a note of the weapons I have and move on. Yeah, I think it suffers from the same problem as Survive the Shrub Forest, where the teleporters got shunted upwards. Yeah, the level's broken. Okay, let me fix this. Shine, silver, star. The same issue with Survive the Shrub Forest is here. I didn't move... See, I jumped over there and didn't press anything after getting in there, but of course it broke. Ever since the version 1.5 update, teleporters have been reworked a bit, Brickman. So some of the earlier levels, teleportation, the coordinates have been shifted upwards a bit. The rewrite was the way they rewrote the teleporters was so that you could have 8 different colored teleporters. So yeah, for some levels, I'm not sure which ones, but pre-version 1.5, you can end up putting the teleporter coordinates of 1 or 2 blocks higher, which means if it's close to the ceiling, it can shunt you right through the ceiling and kill you. Yeah. Yeah, so... I didn't move. When you say don't move, you mean don't press on the controller. I'll try it again, but let me place Mega Man over there and see what's going on. Yeah, we're so close to the end, in fact. Okay, not holding directional inputs. Okay, now it worked. So you're right. Yeah, that's a very strange rewrite. Over here, at least, if you don't hold anything afterwards, it works. But for Survive the Shrub Forest, which the issues would happen yesterday, it wrecked the level. I still have the original version, an older version of Mega Man Maker downloaded, so I can always use that if necessary. Let's try this again. Yeah, for the teleporters, why should holding a direction influence why you get shunted outside of it? I mean, you should have control once you get out of the teleporter, not when you're inside the teleporter. And that's how we get through. I think damage boosting would be faster. Probably glitched because of adding all those new teleporters. Oh no. Oh, it's in a reverse too. It seems that each of the teleport objects are separate objects from what someone else said. Oh, I see the trick here. His weakness is probably the Silver Tomahawk. Still need to dodge this though. So stand still and enjoy the show. Overall, this was a fun if a bit challenging stage. Somehow I got those first two things that were just complete roadblocks for me in a pre-recorded level, and there were no problems whatsoever now. I give this stage a thumbs up. It was fun, but yeah, definitely on the harder side. So the 12th and final level I'll cover in this stream, and the last stream for this week, is Hurricane Fortress by T-Money, with 30 plays and a score of 6. GH5Y6's Shindiro's Diamond Wolf, GHY's other level and Queen of Mako stages will be added to my playlist, and they'll be first in line for the next week's streams. Should have slid there. It was medium hard, I'd say. The hardest parts of the stage, see, the stage's difficulty curve was a bit strange too. The hardest parts were at the beginning because all the button mashing required. The easiest parts of the stage were in the middle and near the end, I'd say. All the button mashing required for the introductory segment with the shine, that's the hardest part. But on stream I got on my first attempt. Dr. Wright. So many win levels in this stream. We had, this is the 4th or 5th one by now. Once the stream is done, I'll publish the previous stream I did, hopefully with the correct timestamps, and then tomorrow I'll publish this stream with its own timestamps. Next week will be, well, after next week there'll be a change in the times of the schedule in the scheduling of all these streams. Not to mention, I already finished the LPs of Ray Baby and Mega Man 3D 2. Next week I'll also be finishing my Let's Plays of Hovership Havoc, I believe. And starting up 2 new LPs. Yeah, there are. There are a lot of twin stick shooters on my 2 LP list actually. It's really increasing my appreciation of that genre. Probably the mid-boss. Yeah, mid-boss. So that's how we get out of here, and up that ladder. I believe you. There are many parts in the last space travel series. I like the aesthetics of this level. Back outside in the strong rain. And get pulled into my debt. Not quite. I got cut off by the corner. The hardest parts of the stage are easily the outside portions. I still consider the introductory part of the stage harder than the first inside portion. The rain is pretty hard to counteract. That's one way of putting it. I got struck by lightning. I haven't played any GTA games. Well, I did play Saints Row 3, but I never completed it though. Does that count? This is looking to be the end. Well, if GTA was much more sillier. Sillier and wackier. Even more so with Saints Row 4 with the superpowers. Oh, of course, he's mean against all wind-type weapons. Should have known. Time to rely on the Buster. The rain is going to be the biggest problem. The problem with the earlier 2D top-down ones is that the way the perspective works makes me kind of nauseous. The way the zooming in and out works. Yeah, and the way perspective is, even if it doesn't zoom in and out, it still doesn't really look good. It's a weird and kind of disorienting effect. Pretty solid level. I'll give it a thumbs up. As I said, GH5's 2 levels, Shinderu, Diamond Wolf, and Queen Mako stages will be added to my playlist, and they will be covered next week. So in total in the stream, I covered 12 levels. Less than the 15 or so levels I covered last time, but still fairly decent. So I'll continue streaming next Saturday. Well then, thank you all for watching all my streams. Your continued support makes me want to continue streaming more and more, as it makes it much easier to cut through all these levels on my playlist and whatnot. In general, the levels you viewers submit are better than most of the levels on the new queue, and for instance, the most popular queue. And I like the instantaneous reaction. Oh, and some of the most popular levels I already played too. Yeah, this deserves a high rating. It was a fun level. Well then, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in future Let's Play. And have a nice evening and future day. Toodles!